Hi guys, welcome to Vote Sports. Today let's talk about the situation of Victor Osimhen. Now, no club in Europe is willing to pay 100 million plus for him. Now, Napoli is not willing to reduce their price, and Osimhen is not willing to reduce his wages. The problem is that Osimhen is still at Napoli, and Conte doesn't want him on his team. Now, what is the situation for Osimhen? Will he be willing to reduce his price to go to a smaller club, or probably go to Saudi Arabia and collect major money? That's the only people that is willing to pay his wages. But the situation there is that the club that is coming from him from Saudi Arabia is only willing to pay only 65 million euros for him, which is way below the asking price of Napoli. Now, Osimhen is in big wahala, is in big problem. So we are going to talk about this on this show now to understand the whole situation about Osimhen. Okay guys, if you look at that deal, I'll start with you, John. If you look at that deal, no club is willing to pay for a top striker like Osimhen. What is the problem?
The problem is that they know that Osimhen has fallen out with Conte and Napoli. He has no beef with Conte naturally. It's just that Conte knows he can't count on him for Napoli because there's an agreement in place that this is the season that Napoli is going to cash in on him and get big money. So he can't even dream of keeping Osimhen. And that's why he's gone for Romelu Lukaku. So every club around the world know that Osimhen is on the chopping block. Napoli don't want him. There is beef between him and the club in quotes, and that he's on his way out. And Napoli are insisting on 120 million pounds or euros for Osimhen. So they know that that situation is there. So they are stretching this deal out towards the embers of the transfer market to find out if Napoli will finally reduce the evaluation, because Osimhen doesn't want a reduction in his wages. Napoli don't want a reduction in valuation. But if they want him off their team, and I'm sure Conte does, they are going to have to come around to the table. Either it's going to be a sell-on clause or add-ons or whatever. They have to find right for them, and finding right for them may be an 85 million or 80 million euro deal with add-ons of maybe 20 or 30 million and a sell-on clause of 15 or 20%. So these are the options that Napoli are going to explore if they do not want to keep him beyond this current transfer market. Osimhen has no problem sitting down on the bench and eating their money, but he would want to be playing football.
Coaches come and go, club management remain.
So if you look at another deal for Osimhen, I think what is the issue? They had an agreement that Osimhen is going to be leaving. Probably Napoli thought that all the clubs in the whole world will be coming to buy him. Obviously, he's a top striker. Everybody knows that he is the African Footballer of the Year. So everybody knows that he's a top player. But the problem is that nobody is willing to pay that 120 million.
When I said coaches come and go, management remain. The club management know they gave him a contract, though he's falling out of place with the coach because the coach likes to play with a certain kind of players, and he wants Osimhen gone. But the board knows they won't sell him for cheap, so they know what if your tactics with Lukaku doesn't work. That's why they've stalled all through with PSG, they've stalled all through with Arsenal, they've stalled all through with Chelsea. What if your tactics or the guy you want to bring in does not work? You also need someone else, and we can't be coughing out money again to go and get another striker. So at that point, they might be looking to terminate Conte's contract, or perhaps infuse Osimhen back into the plan of Conte.
Terminate Conte's contract?
I'm just saying, no, it's a 2-3 year contract.
Yeah, I know, but if you look at it, I understand what you're saying, but I'm sorry to cut you, but if you look at it, Conte came in and he spoke with the board. The board informed him that there is an agreement in place for Osimhen to leave. So it's not about Conte wanting him to leave. He didn't want him to leave. No coach in this whole world enters a team and see a striker like Osimhen and wants him to leave.
Look at it this way.
Well, let me finish before. But the board told a coach that this player is about to leave. Make other plans. So he set his mind to train with probably Lukaku. Now whose problem is it? It's not Conte's problem.
It's not Conte's problem.
The living is with a condition. If the right price is met. It's not that Osimhen told them he wanted to leave. Osimhen had never mentioned that he wants to leave Napoli. If you look at all his press conferences, he's never mentioned that he wants to leave Napoli. The board makes sure, when he was signing a new contract, said if the right valuation is met, then he is free to go. Then Conte came in and said he wants to work with Lukaku. That was where the first step. So you coming in to work with a new striker means this one is not of use to us. So if the right valuation is met, then he can go. But the right valuation is not met yet, so he will have to stay. So Conte can work whatever he wants to work, the magic he wants to do with Lukaku. If it doesn't work out, then he would have to go back to
I understand that if he has to play him at some point.
If his time at Napoli doesn't work out and the right valuation still doesn't come for Osimhen, he's still going to stay at Napoli unless he's been forcing his way out, which means Napoli will be forced to take a pay cut in his valuation. But for now, he's not forcing his way out. He's relaxed, trying to train on his own. He's training on his own, aside from the first team, and he's not been introduced to the team sheet in game weeks. This is the second week in a row. They lost their first game. They won this last one 3-0. He's not introduced in the team sheet as well, so which means he's still training somewhere in Napoli camp, but not with the first team squad. So I believe he's still there and he's not forcing his way out. That's why he's just relaxed. If he was forcing his way out, he would have made a statement by now that Chelsea would have cashed it on, because one thing with forcing your way out is once you force your way out, clubs will know that you are forcing your way out and they will pay less, they will offer less, and the club will be forced to accept less.
No, even if you say that he cannot force his way out, because if he comes and say that he wants to force his way out, Napoli owns the contract. Napoli would decide when you are forcing your way out. You have to probably talk to other clubs, and they are willing to meet your valuation. Now you can now put in a transfer request that you want to leave there, because you know a club outside will meet your request. But the situation here now is that no club is willing. So even if you force your way out, Napoli can still keep you there and still not collect the money.
Look at it this way now. Let's use Martin's Delight for example. He has a 3 years contract left on his contract. Braithwaite has 3 years also. Now Braithwaite is worth 80 million and Man United is submitting 50 million. They said no, if you don't bring 70. Now he's saying I want to go. Now they've reduced from 80 to 65. Yet Man United is saying no, we want to pay 50. Braithwaite was about 70 or so. Man United said they want to pay 40. And he had to say, okay, since I'm not needed here, I want to go, I want to leave. Now, for him to say, I want to leave, the club will be, if I keep you here, you won't give me your all. You won't give me your best performance. So they'll have to at least step down their horses a bit.
But the valuation, that's what I'm saying, valuation from 80 to 60 is close range. But valuation from 120 to 60 is huge. Nobody will do that.
That's the Saudi proposal. I think at some point, PSG submitted a bid of about 220 million for 2 players. Those 2 players worth 80 million for one, and the other 140 million or so for the other player, which is 2. But at that time, Napoli was 150 or nothing. That's for Victor and Osimhen.
I think because they didn't want to let Victor go.
Because they don't want to let Victor go, and they want to increase his valuation from beyond 80 to maybe 110. They have to say no, come for one. And now you see that look at Osimhen on the other hand, he's not even making any bid, he's not even submitting any request to any club.
And his agent he doesn't need to, because
just like the case of Morata, where his agent is, you know how Morata travels. Now when he's tired of staying in a big club, he tells you I want to go to
Morata is small money.
Morata is a journeyman in
I'm just saying the way he journeys. It's the journey movement I'm talking about, not the money they buy him. So I'm just saying when you submit a transfer bid, the club will be forced to at least take up a significant amount, not really a huge amount.
But then what you're not seeing is that Osimhen is on upwards of £330,000 at Napoli. He's earning good money, so he doesn't need to force a move, because if you are trying to force a move through, somebody else would have agreed personal terms with you
to pay your wages.
To pay your wages, and you agree, and then you now force your way out to leave and get Napoli to now meet whoever you want to go to meet their terms. But now he is okay in the sense that at the end of the day, whether this Lukaku experiment works or doesn't work, if it doesn't go, he's still on his pay. He's still at Napoli. The fans still love him. If it doesn't work out with Lukaku, they will still come bring him now, beg him, and put him back into the side if he wants to perform. And in the media lights now, he will look bigger than Napoli.
Okay, if you look at now, the only club that is making the bid for him is from Saudi Arabia, and they are probably offering just 65 million euros. But the difference is that they are willing to pay the wages, but Napoli is still trying to negotiate. There's a rumor that they are going to accept it because they are just trying to let Osimhen go.
Lukaku has already come in, and I just want to make this fact that no club in their right mind coming for a player who has teeth with his club will want to pay full valuation. They always come and
Yes.
price you less because they know that it's like you have somebody that you are not happy with and that is not happy with you. They feel they have a higher leverage over you, and so they want you now to come off your high horse and do business with them, which is let's split this money, take this bulk money, add-ons and the rest. So you understand me? So
And the
that's
wages
the
too
way
is
it is.
part of the problem. Nobody wants to meet that 100 million plus and the wages Napoli
still do
is.
the
And
wages at the
So
same
I think
time.
if you look at the contract, everybody is finding it difficult now.
I think
Napoli
at
is not reducing.
Mhm.
Osimhen said that he's not reducing his money. So
Of course.
we are talking earlier off the camera now. So you are saying that if he goes to Saudi, it's going to be hard for him to come back to Europe because no
true.
club is going to pay him that any
See,
amount
look
that
at, look
he's
at
going to
it
be earning.
this way, look at it this way now. He's earning 300 plus or 250 plus at Napoli, and he goes to Saudi and is earning 400
Or 500
500
a week.
a week.
Niger boy.
Now you as man where you be. Sadio Mane left early. I think Sadio Mane there is earning about 400 500.
He left in his 30s, so it's okay.
Now you below 28, you're going to Saudi, you're earning 500 a week minus taxes and all of that. You make at least 400 a week. And
if you come to that taxes they are very
very
minimal.
I'm
minimal,
just saying minus taxes and all the
Yeah.
expenses, you make at least
Let's say 400 a week or 500.
and they're not telling you to come back to Europe
And they pay
and play for Chelsea, so we'll pay you 300. Even you,
minus tax.
even if your village people tie
Tax
you,
is 40 or 40%.
no, I'm just saying,
now.
even if your village
So-
people tie you, you not go take the deal.
Yes.
So
True
which
talk,
means
true talk.
if he ends up going to Saudi at this very young age, he might still play good football. But
nobody-
we are not sure he would give that performance, because where I'm worried now is if you go to the Middle East or you go to Asia or you go to US, will you still be able to have that energy to play for the national team?
That for me, that's where it comes. It depends on the
Yeah.
kind of player. If you are a Ronaldo kind of player that you believe in work ethic, hard work, and all those stuff, you maintain your standard.
The Gallo standard.
But but if you are maybe an Osimhen, you are there, you have all this money, all these opportunities,
and you're relaxed.
and the league is not as challenging as Premier League or
La
Serie
Liga
A.
or Serie A.
A little small to start dropping in. You will not be working as hard as you want to work. But then let's also not forget that the attention is not in Saudi. The media coverage attention is not as much as in Saudi and in Europe. But I feel that even if he goes to Saudi, if he's hungry to at least win the Champions League or win league titles elsewhere, he would leave Saudi and come back to
He's talking about he's going to come back to Europe. And
Yes.
Okay.
He
If
will
that's
leave
it.
I
Saudi
think
and come back to Europe.
I think what I think he should do is that he should go to Saudi, collect the money for 1 year.
You know they work-
Reduce it again and come back to Europe and play for a
Money
big
that
club.
they full man.
But it depends. But okay, let's see what will happen with Osimhen, because the only deal on table now is from Saudi Arabia. Chelsea is not willing to pay the valuation. But the surprising thing about this whole deal is that if Napoli is willing to negotiate with the Saudi club maybe for 65 or 70 million euros, why aren't they negotiating with other clubs in Europe? Are they trying to frustrate Osimhen? Maybe. Or are they trying to force Osimhen to reduce? We don't really know what is wrong with the whole deal, but the window is about 4 or 5 days. This deal is going to be progressing. We're going to be following the story to know what Osimhen is our guy, is our brother, so we need to know how he's going to be ending. Hopefully he will end up in a good club where he's appreciated and where he is going to play football and maybe play Champions League. He is still a young player. He needs to be playing in a top level football. See you guys next time, and we will bring you more updates about Osimhen.